And welcome back. Today I want to talk about something that you've all probably heard before, and it's the expression, no news is good news. Now, we're used to hearing this, especially in the context of parenting and in some cases leadership, but unfortunately it's become a lot more common, and especially in public service, it's kind of become a standard MO for a lot of agencies, especially in EMS. We're used to this kind of paradigm. But what is the no news is good news philosophy? Well, really, it's failing to praise people effectively for what they do right. There's so many people who say, well, I have so many people fucking shit up. I don't have time to go praise everybody for doing the right thing. When you fail to praise good workers, that's what leads them to go elsewhere. That's what leads them to become dissatisfied and say, you know what? I'm going to go look for something else. I'm going to go look for somewhere that I'm actually appreciated, that I'm actually recognized, not, because I'm entitled to anything, but because I'm actually doing the work. I'm actually doing the right thing and doing everything I'm supposed to do. And I would appreciate some validation or some, confirmation of that from the people that I'm working for. And it's a simple equation. All punishment, no praise equals higher turnover rate. The common excuse, I don't have time, means that you need to reprioritize and you need to evaluate the management systems you have in place and how you are interacting with the people underneath you. And you don't have to do anything actively to demoralize people. Sometimes doing nothing, silence, is enough to dishearten the good people to where they don't want to continue working for you. They want to go on and do other things. They want to go somewhere where they feel appreciated. When you combine this with not only are you not praising the people who are doing well, but you're also not listening to feedback from those people. You're not soliciting feedback from them and actually taking some action on it. They will continue to become dissatisfied. They will continue to not listen to what you have to say because you're not engaging with them. You're not taking them seriously. You're looking at them as grunt workers who are checking a box and doing a job. They're a warm butt in a seat and that's it. How many times have we heard the story in books, on movies and TV shows of this marriage that looks okay and then suddenly one spouse wakes up and the other spouse is gone? And they're left there wondering, well, what happened? Why? Well, there were warning signs all along the way, but they weren't noticed. They weren't taken seriously. They weren't addressed seriously. And it's very much the same way in EMS. We have these very archaic, self-destructive leadership tactics and policies and norms that we can't figure out why people aren't wanting to stay. We can't figure out why are these people leaving? Like, I'm giving them a good paycheck. I'm giving them a schedule. Well, there's more to it than that. There's so much more to it than that. And it gets written off as, these people just couldn't hack it or they're weak. No, people want to be treated fairly. And they want to be recognized for what they actually do, not just what the title is, not just some, heroes work here bullshit, but people actually want to be recognized for what they actually do right. And I think there's a problem where we don't track enough of these metrics in EMS. I think that we aren't utilizing all the tools that we could to actually monitor the good track record of people. It's kind of becomes this free-for-all, like, oh, well, I haven't heard any complaints about them, so they must be doing okay. Well, no, you need to actually have some systems in place to evaluate people both positively and negatively. It cuts both ways. How many times, and I'm gonna speak to the dudes here specifically, how many times have you been in a relationship where you think everything's fine, and then suddenly one day you wake up and it's not? And you look back and you realize that there were things you weren't doing right. There were things that you weren't addressing, that you weren't taking care of. And suddenly even though it's compounded over a period of time, you notice the sudden change. So how do you address that? Well, you start moving forward, paying attention to the little details, pay attention to the little things, and positively reinforce your partner and make sure that they are at the very least being heard. And this goes the same for women too. Men have emotional needs, personal needs, relationship needs that need to be addressed as well. It cuts both ways. Translate this into the workplace. As a supervisor, at whatever level you are, you're responsible for fostering a healthy relationship with your teammates. And again, I'm not talking about, going over their house, hanging out on the weekends, having drinks together. No. But you need to relate to them. You need to listen to them. You need to engage with them. Because let's face it, it's hard out there. right? Everybody's feeling overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, all of it. And it's not the big things that you do necessarily that make people feel appreciated. It's the little things. It's how you greet them, how you talk with them, how you reach out to them, how you engage with them. And I know a lot of the older salty people are just like, oh, a bunch of babies. Well, how many of you have been divorced how many times? Anyway, so we need to pay attention to these things, especially when it comes to your good workers. And even your bad workers sometimes will have insight that's relevant. Just because you have somebody who part of their life they aren't necessarily taking seriously or doing the best at doesn't mean that everything about them is useless. There's plenty of people who aren't good workers that actually have some valuable insight on things. So it's worth listening to them, worth paying attention to them, and gleaning what you can from everybody. Some of it you have to filter out and say, all right, this is bullshit, I can't do this. But even your underperformers need to have some kind of interaction and engagement with you that isn't just punitive. Because if their only interaction with you is just punitive, then it's no different than a child who engages in bad behavior because that's the only way they get attention from you. It's no different. And even in my own experience growing up, I grew up in a household where no news is good news was pretty much the MO of my father. And even he admitted this later on in life, that was a horrible way to go about things. And it caused a lot of problems that didn't get addressed, that weren't handled properly until decades later. It's important that we learn those lessons and take those lessons and integrate them into how we run EMS, because all of life is connected, right? There's not these silos where, okay, well, there's one set of principles in life for this set of relationships, and there's a completely different alternate set of principles that work for this other kind of connection. It doesn't work like that. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean that every professional relationship you have is identical. But what I mean is, human psychology is human psychology, whether you're on the clock or not. And how people respond to reinforcement, positive and negative, is common across the board, no matter what silo you're in or what part of your life you're in. Our mind is our mind. It doesn't have a, okay, well, I'm on the clock here, so I have to operate under this set of principles, and I'm off the clock over here, and I have to operate by this set of principles. No, it's all the fucking same. It's all the same. So it's incumbent on leadership, and I'm not just saying leadership at work, I'm saying leadership at home, leadership in your relationship, leadership in your work interactions, both formally and informally. It's important that we, as leaders in whatever sphere we're in, pay attention to the people around us. And I struggle with this as much as anybody else. And I have to be reminded sometimes to go out of my way to positively reward the good and not just have a no news is good news mentality, because that will drag you down. That will frustrate everyone around you and cause disruptions that make your life miserable, that make your life harder. We've all heard the expression that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. That is very much how leadership practices in EMS have gone. Is there's this resistance to changing the status quo. There's this resistance to addressing how we do leadership, because it requires people who are currently in leadership to admit they were wrong. And that's fucking hard for anybody. But we have to address it. We have to figure out a way to fix this. Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and act surprised why nobody wants to come work for you, nobody wants to stay working for you, nobody trusts you, it's because you do the same things over and over again that don't work. So you need to be open-minded as a leader and be willing to be challenged, to have your paradigm challenged, because of course everything makes sense in your own head, but we don't live in a vacuum. Your behavior coexists with the lives and behaviors of other people. So it's incumbent on you to say, you know what? I may see things a certain way, but that doesn't mean that's how the people around me are seeing it. I need to be aware of that. That doesn't mean that you need to live solely by the opinions of other people. Not at all. But you need to be aware. So be the kind of leader that pays attention to the people around you, that is aware of what their limits are, and also is aware of what they're doing right and what they're doing well, and praise them for it. And not just with, a random text message, but praise them openly, praise the good people publicly, and support them publicly. Because then also what you're going to be doing is providing positive motivation for the other people to say, you know what? I'd like to be recognized for doing a job well done. And it gives more of a positive social pressure for people to do better and be better. So let's not be stuck in the fucking 1980s with this no news is good news mentality. And instead find creative ways to go out of our way to positively reinforce, reward, what have you, all the people that are actually doing a job well done. That's all I got for you guys. If you learned something, good, share it with your friends. If you were offended, good. You probably should be. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.